have a liftoff.
First off, our mission here is to dethrone and expose the truth on organized crime here in Mexico, how evil they are, and the damage they do to society and the people in general. If you'd like to walk away from that life or help doing so, you can contact me at ogshadowofficial@gmail.com. Please smash on that like button and leave a comment down below, even if just the letter A, the number 1. That's what will help get this video promoted and seen by the world, as well as share it with everyone you know. I really appreciate that, and if there's anything you can do for the channel, that's more than enough. Down below in the description, you'll also see our Patreon as well in the comment. That really helps out the channel financially and gives you access to things such as walkthroughs, me taking a bullet fragment, Spider, who was actually murdered due to other things that he was involved in, but he helped out giving information on a lot of things to do with organized crime before he did pass away. And there's some of him being interrogated on there before his passing a couple of years that he passed us the video and gave us permission to use, as well as lots of other things that are exclusive to Patreon. So check those out, everybody. Don't feel bad if you slap the hell out of that like button and get some common sense into it. That's going to help out. And the like button will thank you later on. Or at least I will. Adios, amigos. Now, because of your guys' interest and my interest is putting the truth out of what really happens, we followed several female sicarios, here called sicarias, and their journeys, which always ends up ending in their death. Now, one of them is La Guadana. She's a member of Cartel Jalisco and actually ended up becoming one of the semi-regional bosses in the Tierra Caliente, which is a big feat, you know, by a woman. And she actually ended up leading a team of sicarios, which is something else that's pretty unique. Usually I've seen them be members and be included, but actually be leading it is something all in itself. Now, one of the main points of conflict for her was with El Abuelo. and Los Viagras. And this is actually what ended up causing her death at the end, was a conflict with said group. And she had a long time for a Sicario and the Tierra Caliente. She actually did live a long time. Usually, as soon as they're out on the public media and social media, they kind of sign themselves a death warrant. And that definitely happened, but she lived a lot longer than I thought. Now, I've seen photos of her with her team, if you want to call it that, as well as a few videos. I think I put several up on the other channel I had, and it's a shame what happens, but she knew what game she was playing at the end of the day. And I'm going to include a video of an operation that she ended up launching where you can actually see it. And the person actually responsible for her death was Papalis, and he's from Tepaltepec, a member of Carteles Unidos, which is, part of the coalition, and he's actually part in specific of Carteles Unidos. He's part of Los Viagras, and he was bragging about it on social media and putting it out there, what he'd actually done, and he actually ended up being killed in retaliation for her death. So it ended up coming back to him, and actually he was murdered along with his wife, and their bodies were dragged around and left outside in the streets of Tepaltepec. Now, La Guadana actually was killed in Araguaje, which is another municipality, another city, where she was actually left out in the streets. So I think it was kind of a signal how the man responsible for her death was left out in the streets along with his wife. It was kind of like eye for an eye kind of thing, and they like to send messages in the way they leave people and what happens. And actually, what I think caused that, a lot of his death too, wasn't just her death. It was also a lot of pride, with Cartel Jalisco. And the reason I say that is because when she was killed, said Papali, made a video of her death and the people who were around her being dead. There was burnt out narco tanks and their homemade armored vehicles, and they're talking trash and kind of humiliating Cartel Jalisco. So it was a matter of revenge, but it was also a matter of pride for Cartel Jalisco to go kill him and get revenge for him disrespecting their group, their cartel, on top of killing her, of course. So it goes back and forth, and either the way they were going to die if it wasn't for this is another conflict. These people never live a long time, and they know that damn well when they got into it, especially in La Tierra Caliente. That's one of those places where you can't really deny that you know how dangerous or what the cost is of your involvement in these groups. A lot of other places it's kind of under the water and a hidden danger if you want to look at it like that. It's not as obvious unless you're in the know or have family that are, but in these places it's right out in the open. So she mainly fought in places like Guerrero, Michoacan, and Estado de Mexico, Mexico State. Those were her stomping grounds, and her principal enemy was El Abuelo. So I'm sure he celebrated as well as her death, because she was kind of, these female sicarios and things like that kind of end up becoming a symbol of the resistance and the enemies and the contras. Like, she's a symbol of the people who are loyal to Jalisco and cheer for Cartel Jalisco, or a member of Cartel Jalisco. She's kind of an image, like, for them, if you want to look at it like that. Kind of like there were war heroes in World War II that each side idolized and put out there. The same thing, unfortunately, is happening with these cartels. They idolize these sicarios, sicarias, and promote their deaths with corridos and stuff afterwards. So you guys can kind of see what happens. It becomes a myth and kind of always gets hyped up. And unfortunately, kids hear that, is where it comes in bad. They hear that and then they want to follow in the footsteps, and it's a vicious cycle, right? It's a never-ending one as well. ¿Y usted qué crees, compa, que va a haber otro de tomar su lugar bien rápido, no?
Otro desechable, así como dice usted, ¿no? Me ha contado varias veces que muchas personas así son puro desechables. A esa gente
Creo que es.
Como si nada cambia una a otra.
He said, like I say, they're disposables, and he's completely right, man. They are disposables. It's just another disposable person. The actual cartel where they work for doesn't care about them. They have no value as a human being to them or anything like that. If anything, I guess it's a little bit of propaganda value. At the end of the day, is the only thing their death serves for these groups. And a few months or years or whatever service they gave to them while they were alive. But that's all you ever really see out of them once they get active in the life as a sicario. It's not a long life expectancy or a happy one. It always ends up in the same prison, death, bad health, nothing more, nothing less. ¿Quieres decir adiós a la raza, mi compa?
Simón, raza, ahí que nos dejen su like, pleba, y sus comentarios debajo del video también. Que lo compartas si es de su agrado también. Hay nuevas noticias en el canal Oficial. Simón, ahí estamos pendientes.
Thank you very much. Alright, everybody, have a good one. Sale, vale, hasta la próxima.